If you are looking for a personal loan and you have fair or poor credit, you may want to consider looking into an online loan marketplace. Usually these are free and they can help connect you with a lender that might be willing to offer you a loan. My name is Choncé with badcredit.org, and in this video, I'm going to be reviewing Loan for Personal. I wanted to test out Loan for Personal myself to see if it is actually simple to use and helpful, or if it's just another one of those sites that collects your information and leads you to get a bunch of pointless calls and follow-ups that don't really help you. So I wrote a review on badcredit.org to fully go over my take on this website. And then in this video, I also just wanted to walk you through what I found, what to expect with Loan for Personal, some pros and cons to consider, and just a little bit more about it so you can decide if it will be worth your time as you're searching for a loan. So if you want to check out more, be sure to look in the description to see my review on badcredit.org. But let's go ahead and jump into this video. So first things first, Loan for Personal is not a direct lender. It's actually a loan network. So that means that it connects you with third-party lenders after you fill out a short request form online. Usually this is called a loan request form. So just think of it kind of like a matchmaking service, but for you to find a loan. So they kind of take out that process that you might have to go through by yourself when it comes to vetting companies, doing your research, all that stuff. So how the process works is really simple. You start by filling out that quick form, like I said, on the website. Your info then gets shared with their loan network, and they do help match you with a lender. And then you are redirected to finish an application with that lender if you choose to continue forward at that stage. So Loan for Personal basically gets the process started, but the actual loan, including approval, rates, and the funding, all happens through that specific lender that you choose. Let's talk a little bit about loan amounts and the speed of the process. So the website does say that you can request up to $50,000, but in reality, most offers tend to be much smaller. So think like around $500 to $5,000, depending on your credit and income. So you do have to qualify to borrow the amount that you're looking for. This is more of a short-term or emergency loan option to consider and may not be something for huge expenses like over $10,000. But as for the funding, some lenders in the network do offer next business day deposits. So that's great because you can get your funds very quickly as soon as the next business day if you get all your documents in and get everything verified. But definitely consider this as a best case scenario and not necessarily a guarantee, but it's still a pretty quick process to get your loan funds. Next thing I wanted to go over was the credit score impact. I know this can be tricky when it comes to using a loan marketplace. So Loan for Personal is pretty light on the details of how it works on the website. But after doing some digging, I did find out that the initial form, the loan request form on their website that you start with, that is completely free to use and it will not trigger a hard credit inquiry. It will only result in a soft credit check. So your credit score will not take a hit just for browsing, just for filling out that form on their website. But you're going to put in a lot of personal information. And then once you are matched with a lender, consider it almost like a pre-approval. That's when you will incur a hard inquiry if you decide to do a formal application with that specific lender. And just keep in mind that hard credit inquiries can stay on your credit report for up to 2 years. So as for costs, this is where things do get a little vague when it comes to loan costs. Loan for Personal, they don't set rates or fees. So everything really depends on the lender that you're matched with. So this means that rates can vary quite a bit. Fees can vary, terms can vary. We couldn't really find out if you're going to get an origination fee or not, but just keep these things in mind that these are typically things that lenders do charge. So it just depends on what specific lender you are matched with. This is why you have to carefully review any offers that you get through using this service before you say yes and move forward. Another quick note on just privacy is that once you do submit the form on their website, you are agreeing to have your information shared with their lender network, of course, right? So that they can consider you for a loan and get some basic information from you. So this means that you might get matched with a lender right away, or you may hear from other lenders afterward who want to follow up and see if you were able to get your loan funded. So just be prepared for follow-up emails or calls. That's pretty common with these online loan networks. So, who actually is a good fit for loan for personal? I say loan for personal is a solid option for you if you have fair or poor credit and you're looking for options, things that you might qualify for. Also, you need money quickly since the process is fast. Also, it might be a good option if you're just looking, you don't know where to start. You don't know which lender option you want to go with, and maybe you might not get approved with a traditional bank or credit union. This could save you some time and effort so you don't have to apply with multiple lenders one by one. It probably will not be the best option for you though if you do have a strong credit score. So maybe you can qualify for a bank or a direct personal loan lender. You might get better terms and rates. Also, if you're looking for the lowest rates possible and you have the income and credit to support that, you may not get the best terms depending on the lender that is in their network. Also, if you just prefer to eliminate the middleman and work directly with the lender yourself and apply, then you wouldn't need an online loan marketplace. You would need a site like this. So just to summarize the quick pros and cons, I found some pros: fast and simple application. It was easy to walk through and in a couple minutes. Also, you get access to different lenders. And I like the fact that they work with borrowers with different credit types. So you can have fair, poor credit, and you could still stand a chance to find a lender. Some cons I found were just very limited details up front. The website was pretty basic and bare. There wasn't a lot of information. Also, your loan terms can vary widely, and you may, like I mentioned, get some of those follow-ups afterwards. So if that bothers you, just keep that in mind. But honestly, one of my biggest takeaways is that this seems like a solid option, like your standard option for poor, bad credit borrowers looking for a loan, but it's almost too simple. The website is almost too simple and vague, and we really don't have information about what type of lenders are in the network, what type of credit score they're looking for. We just kind of have a general idea. So it is easy to use overall, but I definitely would have liked more transparency about rates, lenders, availability. Also, another con is that this option is not available in all 50 states. So you want to make sure that it's available in your state before you get too far in the process, and they will ask you this during the loan request form. So to wrap this video up, what I recommend loan for personal, I would recommend it to a certain specific person, but you really want to have realistic expectations. If you're looking for a quick and easy way to get matched with a lender, it does exactly what it promises there. The form is short, free, and it's low risk to try, soft credit check, but it's not a shortcut to the best loan option. If you have time to shop around, especially if you have good credit, you may find better rates elsewhere through banks, credit unions, or well-known direct lenders. So that's my take on loan for personal. Again, be sure to check out my review on badcredit.org if you would like to learn more.